Good afternoon. It is September 2nd, 2022, and here's what happened today. We were in a range in the overnight. We had a news item in the morning that created two legs up, and we had two legs of correction, and then we had, I saw this as one leg up. When we went sideways and sold off, probably creating something like two measured legs down, probably. Yeah, and you can see that's pretty darn close. Maybe if we drag it to... No, that'd be too large. So yeah, pretty darn close to two measured legs down. And then towards the end, prices started correcting a little bit. This channel is definitely valid. You can see that midline, get a touch right there, and prices are responding to it there. So definitely some validity. I don't think it would help you at all, but yeah, let's take a look at these trades. I could have there's a chance I wasn't marking things early on. So 5 a.m. comes. Yeah, you don't want to take any of this. Nothing. This is a failure, but it's congestive. I don't think... I didn't take this in real time, and I think it's okay to sit out of that. You just aren't... You see it shoots up, and now it's just kind of like a spike in channel, and it's just not clear what's happening, and that's congestive, so... we come up, make a new high, go lower. You might take that lower high, but you don't know if we're in like this a strong uptrend, even though we shot through the EMA to the low side. So it doesn't look like we're in a strong uptrend. We don't know that, so I don't know if you want to go short there, but if you do go short there, I don't really fault anybody for that because I like those trades personally. And it turns out to be pretty good. Come up here and you get a first entry, second entry short, but it doesn't set up, and that's above the EMA. Actually, this is the second entry short. This ticks one tick lower. So you probably would get a scalp, but you're going right into the EMA there, so 91.50. Yeah, so that'd be a 4-tick failure or very close to it. Here, this is just a range, looks like. And in here, you make a new high. You actually get a failed second entry long. You know, this second entry actually kind of looks good, but it goes below the EMA right here, so I'd be a little hesitant to go long. But if we weren't ranging, that's a really nice looking setup. And it definitely got you a scalp here. So, but we have a new high here, and you get a first entry, failed second entry. I like this setup, even though you're going into some support down here. If you took it on the engulfing bar, I like that. And we find some congestion at the overnight highs, and then it just bounces, and I don't think you can take anything in there. Come up here and you get a second entry long, but it looks like they trapped those people, and that looks like one leg down anyway. So hopefully you didn't get trapped there, but if you're patient, you get a first entry, failed second entry, and that's off the trend line. So I'm not sure I would jump in right here. Oh, that's the first entry anyway. So when it ticks lower on this bar, ticks lower here and then starts going up, I think you take that. You can see it bounce right off the EMA. And then it looked like we were going to be trading higher. And so if you see this new low, you see that, you make a new low, first entry, failed second entry right off that trend channel, maybe you take that, but it's really far into this trend and we're a bit away from the EMA, but we start coming down here, and technically this is a failure, but it's not off the trend channel, and we came short of the trend channel on the low side. I mean, either that or this is our break, yeah, which it looks like this is our break. So that's pretty aggressive. Turns out to be a good move, but it's aggressive. No setup in here for a failure. Below the EMA, really. And then we start going sideways. And this is all too congested for my liking. Nothing good. A lot of congestion on the high side, and the low side isn't really any good setup for a failed break lower. We come over here, and you get a first entry, failed second entry, long. If you're feeling gutsy going into that support, you might take that, but there is support there. So that's a risk. Then we find some congestion right here. Unfortunately, no setups. Not a lot of setups along these trend lines. You get a second entry short that doesn't set up right here. Not really any. I mean, this looks like a failure right here, but it's so far from the EMA and the trend channel that I'm not crazy about it. And then that's a new high, so there's no failure set up in here. If you look at this as a new high, you get first entry failed, second entry long. You might do that, but I mean, it's not a new high. So I don't know. I don't think you can take that. And this is a second entry short, so I mean, you could take that, but look at all this overlap. Even though these aren't dojis, these are dojis. But eventually that works out. First entry, second entry, no setup. Lower high, no setup. Come down here into a range, and you get a first entry, second entry short. Not a good signal bar, and then you get a lower high that's also a failed second entry long, but we're going into the lows for the day. We already had a break of this channel and a new low. One leg, two legs down to a new low. So it's risky, and it felt like it was late in the trend, which it was, and that's probably why it went sideways for a bit before it broke out to the high side and then failed and came lower. It's probably down here. And you might take this one. It's probably like a 5-tick bar, I'm guessing. That's a 4-tick bar. So you might just go long there. And I'm sure a bunch of people did, and they exited right here, and that's why it shot down, and you form this spike and channel down. And I guess I was looking at this as a failure in real time, but you don't want to take that as a failure. I mean, it's a double test, and maybe you go on that engulfing bar. This is a double test. You might take that. It's aggressive. You might take it, though. And we're just going sideways. Break higher, it fails. And then we bounce off the low end of the trend channel and start going sideways with an upward bias. I don't like anything in here. Very sideways. And then we have a more upward bias, but kind of sideways. Second entry long off this trend channel, but on a day like today, I'm not taking that. First entry, failed second entry short, maybe you take that. It's near the trend channel. And then we just sell off again. You get a first, failed second entry long, very good setup right there. Take that. Break, form this range here. I don't see why you would enter anything in here. Moves lower, and this looks like a failed second entry long, but it's not the greatest setup. You're not really sure. But it's also a second entry short I'm seeing right now. Not the greatest looking second entry short, but it is one. So you get a lower high right here, but that's in congestion. Come down here, hit the bottom of the trend channel again, and we bounce. And you get a failure right here. And I marked this green, but for this swing being below the EMA, this looks as good as it can get, really. That takes you higher. And that's all I saw for today. So I don't think you want to jump in on this. You wouldn't. It's below the EMA. You just got that trend channel, so I don't think you want to take that. So that's how I saw it. And I hope everyone had a great day. Hope you have a great long weekend. And I will be back next week.